I'll let you introduce yourself here, whenever you make your way over here.
Let's see.
Oh, there we go. How about that?
Hey,
Yeah,
how's it going? I'm Doug Evans.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
I am the guy who raced the Dirty Money racing car for a few years, number 4457. I'm also the same Doug from the Doug's Axles incident that my friend Phil here kind of made a little famous.
Good with that.
Yeah, I would say that fame is probably an understatement for that event. Doug, I was just sitting here talking to Phil about some Jeep shock tuning, but we're gonna, if you don't mind, Phil, we're gonna derail just a second.
Crash this
Doug,
train. Fuck it.
I want to hear the story because we have the bits and pieces and we have the general arc, but I mean, fill us in on what happened and the timeline and all the crazy events up to right now and where you're at today.
Right. Well, when I first called Jim, I liked the idea of his product as far as the high pinion 14 bolt axle went. We've been using a 14 bolt in the back of the old race car with some pretty good luck. And I liked the idea of rotating that and making it high pinion. And that's the main reason I called him. So at the time, he was just trying to come out with this stuff. And he didn't have, according to him, he didn't have the production really online yet. So it was kind of, I was stuck in this waiting game. And, for a while I was cool with it because I wasn't in a big hurry to build this new car. It's a Legends car. And so things kind of rolled along. I don't know. I think 8 or 9 or 10 months went by. And then, it finally got to a point where it's like, hey man, we really need some axles. What can we make work here? And he said, well, I could do some low pinion stuff for you. I'm like, okay, well, let's do some low pinion stuff if we can get this going. Because I did give him a significant chunk of money up front. Mm-hmm. And a bunch more time went by. I wasn't really pushing on the car. Phil had a lot going on. So, it wasn't a priority. And then kind of all of a sudden we got some ants in our pants about getting this thing done. And I called him back and, the excuse train was still just rolling. And I think that was about another year down the road.
So we right at 2 years is when the meme war started.
Yikes.
Right at 2 years. He I think the final straw was he wasn't going to take any more money, right? He already had that big chunk of change. And he was supposed to build you the finest low pinion 14 bolt rear, all the bells and whistles, dressed out with the truss, the whole show straight dialed. And then we waited months for that and nothing happened. And he started ghosting you. And we said, okay. And I was like, Doug, can we release the dogs yet?
The other thing that happened is some other people started coming out of the closet on this and saying that this, they were experiencing the same thing. They put money down, not getting their stuff. And that's when Phil released the dogs, as it were, told, just basically told the truth about what was going on so everybody'd know. So other people wouldn't get screwed by this guy, right? Yeah. And he had the audacity to call me up and say, hey, can you make Phil stop? And I said, I've known Phil for a long time. He's one of my good friends. But no, I can't make him stop. I was like, you want to know how to make Phil stop? Pay me back.
Right.
Or get me some product.
Straight. Yeah.
It's that simple. And to this day, and he says, well, this could put me out of business. And I'm just sitting there chuckling going, then good.
Problem.
Yeah.
I hope it puts you out of business or you paid me back.
Yeah.
And, I don't know who's still buying stuff from that guy.
He's out of business now. Last I heard, I think he's finally closed up shop.
Good. But
that shop.
He never did pay me back. I never asked Phil to stop because I knew he wasn't gonna anyway.
Sure.
And it's just one of those kind of sad stories. For the amount of money that you put down on a purchase like that, it's it's a difficult amount of money because it's not quite enough to justify going after him legally. I would have had more money into going after him than I would have got back. And so I think he knew that. And I think he worked that angle on quite a few people.
Yeah, absolutely did.
It was about 15. Is that right? Do I remember correctly?
16.5.
16.5. My.
Yeah. We thought it was 15 at the beginning, and then Doug pulled up the numbers from back then, and then, you know, that got added to the whole shit show. And oh my God.
Well, let me be one of the voices of the dogs. You know, first off, that sucks ass. First things first. Number two, I don't know if you've gone on there or Googled them lately. When I reached out to Phil to do this interview, I actually Googled them to see what they're like, you know, just Google reviews, stuff like that. It's funny. I actually got a reminder from a review that I had left. And it was like 9 people found your review helpful. And it did say when I Googled the business, it did say it was closed temporarily. So I take it for what you will on that one. You know, but it's one of those where it sucks. And I thought it was really cool because that was the first time I'd seen like the collective of this off-road group that exists out in the social media world be used to really get somebody's attention, because I think it was a day or two maybe later, and you know, Phil had put something up, hey, we heard back from him and here's this, and it really sparked some moves for you. But I hate that, you know, it's still not turned out. Is there any like recent news or anything like that?
No news. You know, I've been buying parts and building rigs in this whole off-road fun game for, I don't know, since the early 2000s, and I've never experienced anything quite like it. But I told Jim at the end, I said, you know, this community is a tight-knit community, and a lot of these guys work hard for the money that they put into these rigs, and this community does not and will not put up with what you're doing, because you are going to be known and the word's going to get out and it is going to be over for you.
Yeah. Fast forward to today.
You know, I don't have anything back from him, but
sure,
I'm plenty happy with the satisfaction that, you know, his little game has been exposed, and I think he is going to have a very difficult time building confidence with anyone in this industry from here forward.
I would have to agree with you. And you know, you think to yourself, well, what does someone like that do next? And you know, when the entire industry was witness to what happened, it's not good for you. I'll tell you that. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was a rob Peter to pay Paul situation. I'm sure it was. I'm sure he took my money and used it to kick a couple other jobs out the door. You know, for a while I wondered, am I not, cool enough? You know, he's trying to keep his bigger name customers happy or whatever.
Yeah.
And kicking me down the road. At the end of the day, you know, I still never got a clear answer from him on that, but I don't think it matters much at this point. So.
Well, a chunk of change that you couldn't charge back. It was wired and it was gone, and that was his at that point. And he knows his program because he screwed a lot of people. He, without naming names, he did a lot of people dirty. A lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I know it's worth nothing really, but like, my heart is with you. It's one of the gut wrenchers. So I'm glad that it looks like you're here with Phil now. So I'm sure that means there's been some forward progression on something, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Yeah,
car's about ready for a plumb and wire. He just got final fit up just now for his controls.
Yeah,
it ought to be at KOH snorting hard.
So let me ask you this: what did you end up going with? What axles are going to end up under that car? Because on the side of it, it needs to be something like "still looking for my axles" or something like that.
That might be